Hey there, you're watching the Harley Davidson Wizard YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Stick around. My name's Brad, I'm the Harley Davidson Wizard. We're going to be working on a 2020 Street Glide Special today. It's a brand new motorcycle, just came in off the truck. It's in Boulevard Burgundy. It's kind of a bold color. It isn't super fancy with a whole lot of flake in it, but it's a good color. It's a lot like an older black cherry almost. But it comes with the 114 in it. And this is exactly how it comes from the Harley Davidson truck. We're going to be going over the whole vehicle, making sure that nothing is scratched or damaged, or just basically that it's the way that it's supposed to be. And getting all the protective wrapping off of it and checking the oil, making sure everything's all good. One thing about this model I didn't notice is it looks like it comes with the Boom Audio speakers in it, which is nice. Those look good. It's too bad that it doesn't come with a Daymaker headlight though. It just has a dual bulb halogen. Oh well, you know, things can be changed. Let's get you in the tripod, and we'll just start at one point of the motorcycle and keep on going until we're finished. Thanks for watching. First thing off, with our hands still being clean, we're going to get the protective cover on the front fender. You can get the windshield on. That way it's out of our way and we don't have to worry about messing anything up. Get you in here so you can see what I'm doing. Removing these 3 screws. The windshield comes in this little packaging. It comes strapped over the seat. Sorry. Now that we got it unwrapped, drop it in, get it positioned. You don't want to drag it across anything and damage it. Should fit in just like that. I like to get all 3 screws started. And then I start tightening the center one while looking on the inside and making sure that we have it drop down in the groove correctly. We do. You don't have to go all crazy with it. What I like to do, if you just tighten the screw, you'll get a little bit of a bulge here in the fairing. What I like to do is, after the center one's tight, I take my hand and kind of move any extra fairing material over and off to the side. That way when you tighten it down, it has a nice clean gap at the top. And then I do it on the other side too. You gotta be careful because the bike's on the hoist, but just like that. See if I can get you in for a view. I don't know if you can see that through the camera, but it's always going to be a little bit tighter in the center. But if you just run the screws in, I'll give this big bloopy looking deal, and that's just the way I like to do it. Let's raise the bike up, get the saddlebags off. Actually, we'll get the saddlebags off right now. The keys come attached to the clutch lever. I want to be careful not to scratch it or anything. Put your keys and your fob. And then we'll go down to the saddlebag. We're going to open the saddlebag for the first time. They come locked with goodies in them. Bingo. I thought I had you placed perfectly, but I didn't. And then the right side comes with the side cover in it. And it's foam in the packaging. Check that thing out. Look at it. It is a pretty, it's a little bit darker in real life than it's looking through the camera right now, but it is a beautiful color. Alright. And then this little thing, it looks like it came with somebody's hair. That's kind of gross. Some Harley Davidson hair. We'll come back over and pop that bag off later. Over here on the left side, they always come with this like little flag or something that usually contains the owner's manual and the main fuse and a couple other little doodads. Same thing, it's locked. Pop that off. I like to do it, I don't know if you can see, but sometimes this tape leaves this adhesive back here and it's a pain in the butt to get off. Like you can get it off, but the inside of the saddlebags have this like satin finish to it, which I like to keep. Alright. And then inside our flag bag is your motorcycle literature pack. If you can see. Boom GTS Quick Start Touring Owner's Manual. And then it's this piece of paper. I'm showing you it backwards, but it has the other things that are supposed to come with the vehicle. I don't know if it has a VIN number on it, so that's why I wasn't showing it. And then the main fuse. I'm trying to look through the camera and see if you can see it. There you go. Just pop those things right there. Saddlebag off. Before you take the bag off, you're going to want to make sure you have somewhere nice and safe to put it. I don't know if you can see, I'll show you the little saddlebag stand dealio that we use. And then it just sits on the bottom rail, and just like it does on a motorcycle. So there's no reason to be scratching it or laying it down on its side or anything. Now, let's get back to the bike. I'm going to raise the bike. Yeah, I'm going to raise the bike up. And we're going to get going on the rest of it. All right, here we go. All right. So, a lot of time, well, the first thing that we really need to do is go around and do a quick visual inspection of everything. Make sure everything is not damaged or scratched. So, We're gonna go through, get all the plastic coverings off things. There's also like a lot of places where there's little marks, like down here on this tire, if you can see. And then little tags that are placed around the vehicle that are, they're there for the assembly line, I'm sure. A lot of questions I get, I'm like, when people buy a brand new motorcycle, they're always like, oh, what's this little smudgy thingy, or like, what's this little tacky deal? And that's like where a tag or something used to be. So I put a lot of emphasis in going around, making sure we remove all of them, and then making sure that it's a clean surface on the bottom, so when you buy the motorcycle, you don't have questions like that. And there's also other weird little tags. I don't know if you can see up here, like there's a little clear one right here on this little lock sticker. And it's so clear that a lot of times people, dude, I've seen so many motorcycles come in where that tag is still on there and then it gets baked on by the sun and you can't get it off, and then it starts to yellow and peel up, but then it's like permanently attached to that little decal down there. And it's just such a bummer, you know, like if somebody wasn't a dick, they would have just taken the tags off in the first place, then that situation wouldn't have arisen. So first we're gonna go around, do the tags, come back and get the little smudgy thingies that are left over. Like, it seems like it makes so much sense that if somebody else were doing this, they would just make sure that it's nice and clean and it doesn't have any tags on it. But you know, people are lazy, so I have kind of a ghetto iPod, or ghetto tripod that you're standing on, so bear with me if it's a little bit shaky, but that's the reason, because there's two different selfie sticks like screwed together. It is a little wanky, but I'm not a professional camera guy, so I don't know. A lot of times, like when I pull these side covers off, like where the plastic's wrapped over on the side, people like leave it on the bike and tear it off. They don't just take that 3 seconds to pop it off and make sure that it's like perfectly clean. But we did, because we good people. That's how I roll. And then I'm gonna try to lower you down here. I have like a personal beef with the tags that come on the spark plug wires. When they're brand new, you can just be nice and undo them, and it leaves no residue. And then you pop it into the location that it's supposed to be in. Bing, boom. See? Now it doesn't look wrong, it just looks the way that it's supposed to. Sometimes there's tags on the bottom here and on the bottom of the footboard. Let's keep on going. Actually, sometimes there's tags way up in the bottom that are on the inside of the swing arm, and they rub on the tire and make a little noise. We clean though. Alright. This was originally holding the windshield on. It just slides off. That's another tag. Like, that thing is, it's stupid. It's around the vapor tube from the fuel tank. And it's always hanging out like that. We're gonna pull on it. We're gonna nick that tag, and then it peels off in a way where you can't see it. And then this other, I know somebody's gonna go or be thinking, oh, you don't know what tower it goes on. Well, I do, and anybody that's familiar with them knows too. Like, they're pretty easy to figure out. Tuck those little guys in there. So that they look good. You know, you just want things looking good. And then you got one down here on this derby cover. Boom. Couple more. Boom. They used to come with them way up here, and there were these really crappy paper tags that would leave residue. You didn't see that one, I just pulled that one off there. Here's another one that usually people leave on, which makes no sense because it's so ugly. It's the little one for the clutch cable. They're easy when they're hanging out like this. Sometimes they're tucked in the fairing a little bit more, and in that case I use a little bit of the special brake cleaner that we have, and then it pulls the sticky off of it, and then you can just slide it right off. But it does have a little residue. I'm gonna go grab that can right now. Alright, this is the stuff that we use. This Worth deal. It's really good stuff. It's not like normal brake cleaner. That's very aggressive. This stuff is super soft. Like, I guess, I don't know if soft is really the opposite of aggressive, but let's see if we can get some light on it. Leaves no residue. Nobody really needs to know the key number other than the customer and us, I guess. Move you. Come down. And this is how it's originally attached to the steel skid that they come on. They cut them down at the warehouse when the bikes come in. Boom. There you go. Get this other guy right here for this little fork can. Alright. And then sometimes there's a whole lot of a lot less stickers than there used to be just like 2 years ago, which is nice because they used to have them all over the headlight trim. These ones were the worst. They used to have them up on the rocker boxes. Real pain in the butt. Here's that boy. Alright. Now we're gonna get to cleaning the tires up. There we go. I'm gonna try to get you to a spot that you can see. Like that. Like, who wants to spend all this money on this new bike, be parking lot pimping, and then it looks like somebody just tagged your tire? Not cool, but it rubs right off. Yep, there you go, you can see that sign. Sometimes they're in like a yellow grease pencil, which makes it a real pain in the butt. It doesn't come up as easy. Let's check this other side here. There's a cool little detail. If you can see, the wheel weights have little bar and shields on them. That used to only come on the Scrim and Eagle models. They came with like chrome wheels. But now they're all done pretty fancy. Let's see what else we find. Oh, there's a little bit of that yellow spot if you can see. Right there. Get the rest of that off. I see so many bikes that come in with these marks on the tire. And I don't know, this little touch, it kills me when I see them, you know, like, man, the bikes cost so much, and then just for somebody that's prepping it that just doesn't give a crap, just, oh, rip all the tags off and send it on its way. It's, I don't know, it feels lazy. Alright, now that we've gotten all the marks off the tire, I'm going to clean the brake rotors. The brake rotors come with oil on them, so that obviously they don't rust while the thing's in transit. But you'll have to take my word for it if you haven't ridden a brand new motorcycle the very first time. When you're riding it around the block, it's like the vehicle has no brakes. You can be standing on the brake level, on the brake lever, and it's like not stopping at all. It's got to take time to burn that oil off. See? Look at that schmoo. But somebody's going to be buying this one. It's a good looking bike. Look at that. So this way the brakes work great right from the get-go. Alright, we got everything all finished up on the front side. Let's go to the back side. The lighting in my bay is weird, so let's move the bike into better lighting maybe. Alright, here we are, we're looking at the back tire. Same deal. We're using this good stuff here. Good stuff. Good brake cleaner. Let's see if you can see. Well, I'm trying to look through the camera and do it at the same time, so I'm just kind of talking to myself. There's a couple more marks over here. We're just cleaning her up. Oh, right there, there's that grease pencil. Like right when it gets in these little recesses there. That will stay there for the... If you don't clean it off, no amount of water pressure is going to take it off. It's a real pain in the butt. We're getting it. There's like one little speck of yellow in there. Two little specks of yellow maybe. Alright. Oh, there's still just one speck of yellow. We're close. There we go. We're gonna call it good. And then looking at the tire. Like if the mechanic doesn't do it while it's on the hoist right now, nobody's gonna, you know, push the bike, you know, down the street looking for little white lines. It's crazy. You gotta be doing it now. Let's check the other side. Alright. We're not seeing anything. Alright, she's looking good. Let's do the tire pressure now. I'm going to try to reset this guy. Alright. This is a tire pressure gauge that I use most often. It has these two little ends on it. It works well on most wheel combinations. I bought it from the parts counter. It's a Harley Davidson specific tool, but the gauge broke, so then I bought this little guy on Amazon. Don't let me forget, we forgot to clean the rotor, but we're going to do the tire pressure real quick. And then you just pop it on there. She came with, I don't know if you can see, it's just about right, 40 psi for the back. I'm right-handed, so it's easier to do things like that. Working around the camera. And then again, I'm right-handed. Look at that. Perfect. Well, it's perfect now. Let's go back to the front. A little high. I'm going to tilt you down. Right there. Good. Yeah, it's a little high. It's supposed to be 36. So you like press the lever halfway and it releases air. Like, this thing was not cheap. This tire pressure gauge was this. Oh man, I think it retails for $100. But it works pretty good. We're just gonna do a quick check on the oil. Like, we don't want to go starting a motorcycle if it doesn't have any oil in it. That would be stupid, right? So we're just gonna make sure that we see it on the dipstick, which we do. When we're all said and done, I'll do a hot oil check. I always like to use a actual full-size socket so it doesn't booger up the flats on the dipstick, because it's not cool. Not cool at all. Same thing, we're just doing a quick peek, make sure it has oil on the dipstick. If it focuses, if you can see that, it does. Same thing, you know, even while the bike's running in neutral, the whole gear set is actually spinning, so you wouldn't want it to be spinning while there's no oil in it, because that would be not cool. Alright, I'm going to spin the bike around, because we're going to check the primary too. Probably not far enough back. The lighting's best in this corner of my bay out, because I work in a basement, so there's like no natural light. That's why I got the camera moving so much. Again, we're gonna come back and adjust this too. Like, there really only needs to be 4 fingers of room in between the toe shifter, because nobody's got a boot that is that big. People only have boots that are 4 fingers tall. So you gotta get your boot under it to shift, but you still get, it's too high. That's what we're saying. So let's check and make sure we got oil here in this primary. I haven't ever seen one. that didn't have oil on it. Sorry, I was just looking down and across the basement here. But always double check. Alright. I don't know if you can see, but ooh, I felt it. It's cold. It's cold oil. She looks good. So since you got oil in it, we're just gonna pop it back on, tighten it down. Torque it like we do everything, because that's what cool people do. Sounded like a, I don't know what it sounded like. Sounded like a 750 or some sort of Chinese bike or something. Metric. Metric is what you call them. I forgot where I was at, so I'm just going to torque all these 1,000 times again. Perfect. Now we're going to see what we can do about the little toe shifter. Is that in picture? We're going to try moving it down one spline, see what happens. Alright. That's good. If we didn't like the space here, we would come over and make adjustments to the actual shift rod, but everything's looking good. So the newer bikes only have a toe shifter, they don't have the heel shifter, but they have this long rubber spacer in the center. Even if this were an older bike, I see a lot of bikes that come in where people have it like out at the end and then there's a lot of slop side to side. What you want to do is have your screw loose, hold everything together a little bit, make sure that your nut's not spinning, get it set a little bit like that, and then I'm doing a little pinch action with my fingers. And then this one, you just give it the beans. I use a pretty expensive snap-on bit because it's super tough at the end, so it doesn't booger the screw up. See? So it still moves back and forth, but it doesn't have any clankiness to it. Clankiness is not cool. Alright, so while we're on this side, we might as well just get started with torquing everything. We're going to be doing the calipers, we're going to be doing the gas tank, we're going to be doing the turn signals, engine mounts, engine guard, jiffy stand bracket hardware, rear shocks, saddlebag guard and rear fender hardware, Oh, look it. There's a little bit of poop right there. That looks like we'll get it from, we'll pop the seat off to do the rest of the gas tank bolts. Shock hardware, if I didn't say that. Exhaust hardware. Muffler brackets. Heat shields. Heat shields, I always, when the bike's cold, I always like to bump them and make sure that they aren't sitting up on top of another heat shield or the muffler, because you'll definitely hear them rattle. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Pop the seat off. Use a big screwdriver. It's probably a number 3. The strap always has the washer on it. All right. Let's get started. I think I already did this one. Did the fuel tank. You probably didn't see, but I did the back of the fuel tank hardware as well. That one, that one, that one, bam. It's real dark in the bay on this side, but in case you can see it, I guess you'll just have to take my word that I did it if you can't. I should have gotten the socket. I didn't know. She good though. And while we're here, make sure that the brake fluid is at the correct level, which it is. that's basically friggin' half the bike right there. Let's keep on going. The back side's pretty easy usually. Say usually like I haven't done this before. I have. These ones have a nut on the back that you're gonna hold. I believe it's a 1/2 inch guy, which it is. There are different torques on there. I don't know if you can tell, but there's 2 different screws. Perfect. See, you got a socket. You tighten in it. There is a lot of camera movement, I tell you what. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Spin the bike around, do the other back half, and we'll keep on going. Alright. Get the battery out, you just pop that tab. Might as well get rid of this extra junk. Security system antenna. This is for California's emission piece. And then the black and the gray pop out. It slides forward and pulls out. Piece of cake. Piece of cake, right? Make sure your battery terminals are nice and tight. Put her back in. Looks good. Gray, black, security system antenna. That little guy. Pop and lock. Some screws. Alright. I'm going to get the seat on. Here you can see it looks like it came with a garbage bag glued to it. There's some sticky stuff there. Here you might be able to see. I don't know if you can, but we just used a little bit of that brake cleaner stuff. See? Now she's perfect. Get back to the motorcycle here. Maybe a little action like that. Got a little tab, goes in there, a little wiggle jiggle. You really shouldn't take that much more effort than that. Be careful about the screw hitting the fender. C-strap. And then, she's looking good here. And then I'm just thinking on the top of my mind, or off the top of my head, just kind of scanning, double checking that we did all these things. We'll put the saddlebag on. The only things we have left to do are a few little emblem thingies up here, and then making sure the grips are nice and flat and level. But let's put the bags on. Well, we're going to put this one bag on. Alright, let's spin the bike back around, lower it down a bit and do them hand controls and then the stickers. Alright, we have the clear protectant over the radio, and then there's this one that's usually a pain in the butt, this blue guy. You gotta get him off the bar, and then see if you can. I'm gonna try to pick this off while holding the camera. You see it's starting to peel up. So many people leave that one on. Oh, and look how sharp that MFer is. Can you see that? Man, that thing is gonna cut somebody. They are all very sharp up here. We're gonna get that too. Let's get the radio cover off. And then this one. Oh, look at, they're so nice. They put it on a clear piece of plastic now. It used to just be that blue thing on the handlebar. That's such a pain in the butt to get off. Alright, let's see if you can see this. So look how sharp that thing is. Think. Look at that now. You know, you're gonna go washing your motorcycle, get a rag down here, cut your hand wide open. I should use 2 hands down there. Gotta be careful. Alright. Don't know if you can see, but there we go. That one's nice and clean now. Lower that thing down. See if you can see that. She's sharp. Piece of cake. With the right tool, I guess. It's more difficult to do it when they're all stubby like this. We got those. And I noticed the 3 down on the bottom here. Having tripod problems. Here we go. These 3 were sharp too. Same thing. You're gonna go wash a motorcycle. Have your washmate be having a beer, having fun, washing your motorcycle, cut your hand wide open. Be careful. See? Alright. I don't know if you can tell, but those little yellow lines are where it's supposed to be, like indicated where it's supposed to be. And I like to roll the zip tie behind here so that it doesn't have like this big black nub that you see. And then since we trimmed it, you can be washing it, having a good time, no big deal. Sorry, bumped the camera. But I like to get them right on top of that little yellow indicated line too. See? Little touches like that, just where the ABS wire follows the brake line perfectly. Oh yeah, I forgot where we were. We were gonna do the handlebars. All right. The handlebars, I sit on the motorcycle. And then, I don't know if you can see, but I do this thing where, like, you can feel where straight out is. You kind of want to be down a little bit, and you want it to be even on both sides. I don't know if you can see my right hand, but this is pitched way too far forward. So we're gonna loosen up the bottom screw and the whole assembly will rotate. Oh, that's so much better. Maybe a little bit more. I like to leave the top screw tight, so then that way you aren't fighting it, flopping back and forth. But that's good. Like, it's just a natural kind of feel. And then tighten her down. And then, I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna do the same over here. Slow. You want to make sure that your brake lines and stuff aren't like hitting the fairing. That one we're gonna have to readjust. That's not that big of a deal. Well, we might not have to. And then I lean back and I kind of use my sight line, like, make sure that they're even. That's another thing that really annoys me. You get on a brand new bike from somebody else's dealership for like a 1,000-mile service, and you get on it, the clutch side's all low or high or something. So, like, have a little pride, you know? Put a little bit of time in it. Like, if I wasn't videotaping, I could still easily do this in the allotted time. When you're doing this side, you want to make sure that you have a little bit of free play in the grip. That snaps back and forth. It's close. Not close enough though. There's a little bit of adjustment in the switch housing too. I like to have the master cylinder all the way up at its, take up all the slack. That brings the buttons like in the most vertical position, which is where you want to use them. You know, you don't want to like reach down and, because you can't have it where the whole thing is rotated at an angle like that. It's stupid. Well, it's stupid if you do it like that. I could probably sit here for 20 minutes. We're close. It's real close. They aren't going to be like perfectly like visually perfect because the clutch lever is a further distance here than it is on the brake lever. Like, it has more travel to it. So the angle of the dangle is different. But you want it to look about right, and then it'll feel about right too. Almost. Oh man. Almost. Like, when you tighten it down, it moves a little bit. Lean back. Oh, I went just a little too far. This one's been a bit of a butthole. the brake lines aren't touching the fairing or doing anything crazy. Adjust the mirrors. Because when people are sitting on this thing in the showroom, you know, they're gonna act like they're riding it. They're gonna be looking in the mirror, twisting the grips, pulling the levers, you know, making vroom vroom noises maybe. Probably not, but you want to. It's easier to fall in love with a bike when you aren't like, oh, why is that ghetto? Why is that wacky? Why is that mirror? You know, you just want somebody to just walk in and fall in love with it. Alright, alright. Looking pretty decent. Alright, the last sticker. I think we left it on here. Bingo. Alright, we're going to check the master cylinder reservoirs, make sure there's fluid in it. Everything's looking good. And then a little data link connector and down here. I don't know if you can see that. I kind of smudged up the camera. But I like to wrap this kind of around where the maxi fuse is going to go. Sometimes it's a little bit, actually we're going to need it before where the maxi fuse goes, because we're going to leave it out of the side cover. Kind of just tuck it down here, just like that. So the side cover will leave it right around there. Pop our data link connector in. Alright, I'm gonna go grab the maxi fuse. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Something felt funny about putting the side cover on. And put the maxi fuse in. But we gotta plug in and pair the fob that comes with this little tag, pair it to the motorcycle. So I'm going to turn you off and come right back. Alright, we're back. We got the security system fob assigned to the vehicle. So that's all buttoned up. Now we can put the data link connector on there. Just like that. Get our side cover. Put it on there just like that. That way this is nice, and if you can see the battery tender lead, it's nice and accessible for the customer and whoever. We'll get the side cover on, and then we have the antenna. Antenna just screws on. Here. You always want to kind of leave these in a downward or sideways-ish angle. You don't want to leave it facing up because it looks stupid and it may interfere with the way the lid closes. Close the lid. Alright. And then we can pop our front fender cover off carefully. Alright, So that's basically it. We're done. Actually, we want to check the lights. I didn't actually check that part. So the bike doesn't come with fuel in it. It only comes with oil. I put less than a gallon in it. So we're going to turn it on, and the fuel pump's going to sound a little higher pitched because it hasn't built fuel pressure yet. But we're going to prime it a couple times, and it'll change tone. Right here it's coming. All right. Check the turn signals. It says the left side's working. Looking right there. Looking right there. So you just stay back here and watch it. Right. Brake lights. Right side. High beam business. Let's see, where do I want to put the camera at? Because now is it going to be the first time we start it. Actually, I'm probably going to move it again. Alright, this is going to be the first time we're starting this motorcycle. We're all done with the pre-delivery inspection. Everything went good. Didn't run into any problems or damages or issues. Well, as long as the thing starts and sounds normal. I'm going to get to that. Alright, well, we just finished up the Boulevard Burgundy 2020 Street Glide. Thanks for watching. My name's Brad. I'm the Harley Davidson Wizard.